In high finance, real power never makes a scene. It sits quietly in the dark corners, observing every misstep, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. I spent 2 decades as a senior risk auditor and compliance liaison in Manhattan, serving as the invisible bridge between massive institutional investors and the corporate executives spending their money. My job was simple yet vital: ensure complete transparency, safeguard capital, and maintain absolute legal compliance. Everything ran smoothly until a new executive director named Travis strutted into our firm. Travis was hired by our chief executive officer to shake up our traditional methods. With an artificial blinding smile, a $5,000 designer suit, and the arrogant swagger of someone who had never faced actual consequences, he instantly viewed me as a useless obstacle. The shift became undeniable during a critical morning strategy session. I walked into our glass boardroom on the 45th floor, only to find the entire executive table occupied. Travis did not offer me a seat or apologize for failing to notify me. Instead, Travis leaned back in his leather chair, flashed a condescending smirk, and dismissed my presence in front of the entire team. He announced that they were pivoting to an aggressive growth phase and did not need the compliance police slowing down their creative ideation. The room erupted into nervous, sycophantic laughter from ambitious junior vice presidents trying to gain his favor. I did not raise my voice, argue, or demand a chair. I simply looked him in the eye, gave a calm nod, and walked straight back to my private office. Walking down the silent hallway, I felt a freezing wave of quiet determination settle over me. Travis failed to understand a fundamental reality of our industry. I was not hired to protect the executive team from our investors. I was placed there by the institutional fund managers to keep a watchful eye on the executive team. An hour later, the first petty attack landed. I attempted to log into the confidential digital data room for a major pending corporate acquisition, only to find my administrative access revoked. When I called our young IT administrator, he nervously confessed that Travis had ordered all strategic files moved to an exclusive server off-limits to compliance personnel. Most professionals would have rushed into human resources or sent an angry email chain to the chief executive officer. Instead, I quietly unlocked my desk drawer, pulled out a private encrypted flash drive, and began documenting every single policy violation. Travis thought he was freezing me out of the game, but he forgot that power belongs to whoever controls the actual contracts. 2 weeks later, Travis delivered a devastating blow by slashing my department operating budget by 60%. He reallocated our dedicated forensic auditing funds directly into his flashy marketing campaign for an upcoming company rebranding. The financial controller privately warned me that Travis was approving questionable expenses with virtually zero paper documentation. Furthermore, he began excluding me from crucial strategy meetings with major international investment partners who had trusted my financial oversight for years, foolishly believing he could hide his reckless shortcuts behind closed doors. What Travis did not realize was that his actions directly breached our legally binding LP agreement from several years prior. That foundational contract explicitly named me as the sole mandatory liaison for institutional investor governance, requiring 30 days written notice and a formal investor vote before altering my responsibilities. By secretly sidelining my department and revoking my data access, the firm was actively violating the strict legal covenants protecting our capital funding. I quietly downloaded every email, calendar cancellation, and modified budget file into a comprehensive legal dossier. To make matters worse, Travis organized a company-wide town hall where he publicly demoted my position to a minor support role on an updated organizational chart. The very next morning, Human Resources sent me a confidential email offering a lucrative voluntary severance package if I agreed to resign immediately. They wanted me erased before the upcoming quarterly investor call. I printed the agreement, placed it inside my confidential folder, and continued working silently, building an ironclad case of corporate negligence and intentional breach of fiduciary duty. One evening around 9 o'clock, while working late in my dimmed office, I heard the mechanical hum of an industrial shredder down the hallway. I quietly walked down the corridor and observed Travis frantically destroying thick stacks of red-lined acquisition contracts containing handwritten notes about hidden corporate liabilities. Fortunately for the firm, our high-speed executive printers automatically save cached digital copies of every scanned document. I remotely accessed the internal memory drive and downloaded the exact document he was trying to destroy. On page 45 of the draft, right beside a major undisclosed lawsuit that could bankrupt the target company, Travis had written a clear note instructing his team to conceal the liability from investors until after closing the deal. This was no longer mere corporate arrogance or poor management. It was premeditated fraud. I immediately drafted a confidential message to the lead legal counsel representing our primary investment fund, attaching the unredacted digital draft along with evidence of Travis actively destroying physical evidence in the office. The trap was fully set for our quarterly investor call that Wednesday afternoon. The executive team gathered around the conference room speakerphone, completely unaware that our lead investor, Robert, had already received my encrypted evidence. Travis took the lead on the presentation, smoothly assuring the listening fund managers that our due diligence was spotless and completely approved by compliance. When Robert directly asked on the open line whether I had personally reviewed and signed off on the target company liabilities, Travis panicked and attempted to speak on my behalf. Travis muted the conference phone and furiously demanded that I play along and confirm his lie to protect the transaction. Instead of nodding, I leaned directly over the microphone and clearly informed every major investor on the line that my security access had been revoked, my auditing budget had been eliminated, and I had personally witnessed Travis shredding crucial legal disclosures. A chorus of horrified reactions erupted from the speakers as Robert immediately suspended all pending funding packages and demanded an instant forensic investigation into executive management. The immediate aftermath was swift, absolute, and devastating for Travis. Security officers escorted him out of the building within hours, watching as he packed his personal belongings into a cardboard box under the cold stares of the staff. The chief executive officer quickly realized that the institutional investors would only release our frozen operating capital if I personally directed the full internal governance audit. I agreed to take control, but only after restoring my full budget, clearing my department record, and securing absolute authority over all future corporate transactions. Real authority never requires shouting, grandstanding, or aggressive posturing in boardroom meetings. Travis believed that power was about loud confidence, corner offices, and rushing forward without guardrails. He learned the hard way that in the high-stakes world of finance, the most dangerous person is the one quietly tracking the paper trail in the shadows. Today, every contract, press release, and financial transfer requires my final authorization before it moves, proving that patience and unyielding integrity will always defeat corporate arrogance.